One is, of course, having mentioned earlier, is an increased motivation among the people. I know what I am. There's an increased sense of commitment. Another one is better translation of goals to various levels have resulted in proactive monitoring. Our management reviews, we call it spectrum here. Those reviews actually have monitored these lead indicators, leading to a proactive analysis and actions being handled. Let's sum it up. What we saw here, we moved from basic engineering metrics like psychometric complexity, impact analysis review effort, moving towards delivery excellence, where delivery excellence has been connected to CSAT, which is in turn connecting to your business performance. We have not stopped here. We know we have a long way to go, right? So, as we saw in our defect distribution graph, we saw that the focus was basically on coding and unit testing. We're actually moving towards the life cycle, more left towards the life cycle. We're focusing on requirements, design initiatives, what can we do there. Another one is, so far the focus has been on application maintenance and develop testing projects. Projects currently include our IMS, Infrastructure Management Services, which also form a huge chunk of our services. The fact that we decided to use a separate laptop, in spite of setting the slide, was the inclusion of this slide, which we actually stumbled upon yesterday. It says, when you learn how to properly measure your own performance and analyze the results in order to improve, you get real lasting behavioral change that leads to performance gains and improvement. Not my statement, but actually a statement by Jim Owens. He leads the TSP practice in SEI, and this was his learning or outcome after the TSP course designed by Watts Humphrey. With this, we thank you. Thanks QAI for giving us the time, and thank you for patience and being a very listening audience.
Take one question. One question, please. Please, go ahead.
Just one quick question. I think you had lesser challenges in the requirement engineering, requirement review and design side, because that's where your earlier scenario and improved scenario is almost same. So what techniques you have used? Do you have some suggestions? In the requirement engineering, requirement review and design.
I'll take the point. Why did we choose to do with code is fundamentally most of our defects are injected in code as per the data, at least, right? And that's a low-hanging fruit. So we had to get some quick result. So that's one of the reasons why we took that. Now what we are doing in requirements is, we analyze the process across the projects, and there is a huge amount of client influence in it. So literally we cannot, we thought we'll go and revamp the entire process and say this is what is collaborative process. Now what we are doing is we have come out with a simple evaluation technique, which sort of you can call as a parametric technique. Say for example, source of data. There is a way to evaluate in parameters as to whether all the sources are taken care for a use case or for a user story. Be it some projects call it a user story because they say it's agile, some projects call it as a use case and all that. So we have an evaluation technique of n number of parameters, and those parameters is kind of an indicator of completeness and to a certain extent indicator of correctness also. So this we believe once we do this, we can empirically correlate this data to the SIT as well, because we are hitting a plateau around in maintenance projects around 75%. It's not improving. In development, we are hitting around 70%, 60-70% across projects, and we are hitting a plateau. It's not improving. So we think at this moment we have to hit requirements and architecture also. We are thinking of an evaluation mechanism upfront by a rating process, which we have a labs team. They will come and do it, and they will tell this is the indicators at the moment your performance will dip if you go with these principles. So these are the two evaluation mechanisms, not really such a mathematical one, but more qualitative, but subjectively quantitative, you can say. Something like that is what we are trying out.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have been a fantastic audience.
I think in a very good paper, especially it start off with what do you mean by high maturity, how to think that behavior changes, and taking business objective and putting it in terms of Moses, yeah. And then converting it to the CSAT and then getting down the code analysis and then definitely a great analysis will be done. I think the moment you show these things to the practitioners, I'm sure you can think that behavior changes. So thanks for this good presentation. Now we are getting into the next section, simplifying high maturity T20 way. So can I invite Manish Devan, manager and driving the sales and quality arena and improvements initiative at Accenture India Delivery Center. She has worked with CPT, quality assurance and metrics function in large global IT organization, implementing model-based and continuous improvement using CMM and CMMI model. She has more than